Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss day 5 and day 6 of the Cardi B versus Tasha K trial. In the last video, I read you all the full transcript from Tasha K and Cardi B, and now I have the transcripts from day 5 and day 6, and let's just jump right on into it. We have quite a lot to discuss. A lot has happened, and I will say that it's not looking that great for Tasha K because from what I'm reading, the judge was very upset with Tasha K's team. It looks like her lawyers are not prepared. And in a case like this, everybody needs to be on point. There is no room for error whatsoever. So in my hands right here, I have the transcripts from both day 5 and day 6. I'm going to read them to you. Now, when I say day 5 and day 6, I'm talking about this past Tuesday and Wednesday. So, this past Tuesday on January 18th of 2022, Cardi B defamation trial paused for evidence review. Cardi B's defamation trial against YouTuber Tasha K was temporarily paused Tuesday because the blogger's lawyers could not confirm that the evidence they plan to introduce to the jury does not violate a pre-trial order. Now, mind you, Tasha K is being represented by Olga Ismailova and Sadir Sabak, and they are looking terribly unprepared. U.S. District Judge William M. Ray II excused the 9 jurors around 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday while defendant Latasha Kebe was on the witness stand, instructing them to return to the Atlanta federal court at midday Wednesday. The judge pointed out during what was the 5th day of the trial that defense counsel should already know everything there is to know about the evidence they plan to show the jury. Frankly, it's remarkable to me that we've reached a point where we are mid-trial during the defendant's case, and I've got to have the defendant tell us exactly what it wants to introduce. Judge Ray said from the bench once the jury was excused, defense counsel is asking plaintiff to tell them what's in there that's objectionable. Come on, that's not the way this works. And remember that both sides are supposed to give each other the evidence before the trial starts. The judge said if Tasha K's lawyers had expressed any degree of certainty that none of the defense evidence violates the pretrial order, he would have let them continue to introduce video and audio exhibits Tuesday afternoon. But he said Sadir Sabak and Olga Ismailova, attorneys for Tasha K, wanted Cardi B's lawyers to instead point out any violative material. Maybe you don't care because if it comes in, the plaintiff is left making a decision about whether they want a mistrial or an instruction to the jury to disregard the bad stuff. Judge Ray told Sabak and Ismailova, I want all the material you intend to play with as much specificity as required. Tasha K's lawyer, Olga Ismailova, told Judge Ray she didn't believe there was anything in the defense evidence that violated the pretrial order, but Judge Ray pointed out that her co-counsel was less sure. Mr. Sabak was less than 100% sure that there was no objectionable material, Judge Ray said. He wanted the plaintiff to tell him where the bad stuff was so he could go take a look. I don't think that's fair to the plaintiff. Cardi B finished presenting her case to the jury Tuesday morning with testimony from her therapist. Dr. Sherry Blake, a clinical psychologist of more than 30 years, said she had conducted 16 therapy sessions with Cardi B since late 2018 when the rapper flew her to New York because she was in the middle of a mental crisis. Dr. Blake said Cardi B was initially depressed, anxious, and overwhelmed because of Tasha K's online content, and the rapper's mental state deteriorated as her attempts to stop the blogger failed. In late 2018, Cardi B was definitely a 10 on a scale where 10 was the worst, and in 2020, she was suicidal, Dr. Blake said. All she wanted Tasha K to do was to stop posting the lies, Dr. Blake said. Cardi was devastated. The posts not only continued, they increased. She talks about having feelings of suicide. When I saw her in 2020, she was off the scale. It was way beyond a 10. Dr. Blake said she ultimately diagnosed Cardi B with major depressive disorder and anxiety disorder. She described how Tasha K's blogs and online posts had the effect on Cardi B of being stabbed over and over again and said the trauma is permanent. I felt like she was hemorrhaging, Dr. Blake said. Cardi continues to be depressed. She continues to fight to hold it together. I don't think she's suicidal today. However, she's still emotionally distraught today. Cardi B also brought claims against Tasha K and her company of invasion of privacy through portrayal in a false light and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And remember how I told you guys in the last video that Tasha K had done a countersuit for $3 million, but it was tossed out. Tasha K testified on Tuesday that not all the blogs she made about Cardi B were negative toward the rapper. She spoke about defending Cardi B in a YouTube video in early September 2018, when others were publicly making fun of the rapper's performance in a skit about Martin Luther King Jr.'s extramarital affairs. I made it to defend her, Tasha K said. Just a quick reminder that I'm reading the full transcripts from Law 360. Before I read the Day 6 transcript, let me just say I think it's a shame that Tasha K's legal counsel is screwing up. The fact that the judge is reprimanding her lawyers, that's ridiculous. You need to be on your A game. And I say this coming from the daughter of a lawyer, okay? It's looking like Cardi is going to win. I also feel that Cardi has another advantage with her bringing in her doctor to testify. The fact that her doctor is discussing their sessions and how Cardi felt suicidal, that's really not a good look for Tasha at all. I saw in my last video a few people were saying, well, Cardi's no saint. She has said and done a lot of nasty things as well. And while that may be true, and I'm not excusing Cardi's behavior either, I will say that that has nothing to do with this case. We are discussing somebody who went out of their way to harass somebody and spread lies. And Tasha K admit that she knew that these were lies and she went ahead and said this anyway. If you didn't check out my first video on this, please check it out. I read that full transcript as well. Now I'm gonna read you guys the Day 6 transcript. On Wednesday, January 19th, 2022, a juror with COVID-19 symptoms was excused from Cardi B's defamation case against YouTuber Tasha K following a 3-hour hearing about whether evidence deemed prejudicial to the rapper could be admitted. U.S. District Judge William M. Ray II told parties Wednesday morning that a juror had notified the court overnight that she had developed chills, a sore throat, and a cough. I feel like so much is going on in this case, don't you? First, you have the judge reprimanding Tasha K's lawyers. Now you have a juror being dismissed because they have COVID. I'm like, child, what's next? It follows the dismissal of another juror in the case last week for prematurely discussing evidence played in the courtroom. Judge Ray said the alternative to proceeding with the symptomatic juror was to pause the trial for 1 or 2 weeks and resume with her when the risk of COVID-19 exposure had diminished. But he said a pause leaves more time for people to be impacted. Testimony is expected to last another full day, and the case should be in the jury's hands by the end of the week, the judge said. Judge Ray spent 3 hours Wednesday hearing objections by Cardi B's attorneys to some of the proposed defense evidence, ultimately allowing some to be admitted while barring the use of other content. Then he gave the defense the rest of the afternoon to redact exhibits accordingly. Tasha and her company, Kibi Studios LLC, want to paint a full picture of who Cardi B is by showing some of the rapper's social media posts and online videos. At issue were online videos and posts suggesting that Cardi B, whose real name is Belcalis Almanzar, is racist toward black people, had called a dead baby a monkey, and was involved in a bar fight in New York for which criminal charges are pending. A video about a social media post by the stepfather of Cardi B's husband, in which he suggests Cardi B uses drugs and thrives off public attention, was also objected to by the rapper's attorneys. Tasha K's attorney, Olga Ismailova, said the content is relevant to Cardi B's claims for defamation, invasion of privacy through portrayal in a false light, and intentional infliction of emotional distress because they show why Tasha K said what she did about the celebrity. It goes to my client's state of mind and whether she does or does not have actual malice. My client wasn't the only one talking. She wasn't talking to herself. One of Cardi B's attorneys, Sarah M. Matz, said the defense was trying to poison the jury against Cardi B with highly inflammatory material that has nothing to do with the case. They're literally picking the most prejudicial examples of what my client has said on social media, Matt said. The judge seemed amazed at Tasha K's reasoning for showing the video in which the blogger reads aloud and discusses the social media post by Cardi B's stepfather-in-law. Judge Ray said it is so legally wrong to use hearsay like that to try to negate Cardi B's testimony that she doesn't take illegal drugs. It is not admissible for that purpose, he said. You're trying to use a hearsay statement from someone who is not in court. You should have learned that in evidence class in law school in your first year. I mean, come on. It's classic hearsay. Look up the definition. It seems like Judge Ray is at his wit's end with Tasha K and her legal team, because the fact that he's like, you can't use this. This is pure gossip. This is pure hearsay. Like, are you serious right now? Again, this is no time for Tasha and her team to have any slip-ups. And the funniest part about this whole entire thing is that Tasha K had hired this same counsel for the defamation suit. And she wrote a scathing review on how they were awful. I have the review that Tasha left them from a few months ago. I'll read it to you right now. This just gets worse and worse, okay? So on June 5th, 2021, here's what Tasha had to say about her legal counsel. Very disappointed in this attorney. I hired her to represent me in a defamation case, but I will have to seek another attorney. Olga has, on several occasions, shown up to court unprepared and unfamiliar with the facts of the case. She advised me to file a countersuit, which I did, but it is clear now that that was not the best move. After advising me to countersue, she then doubled back and dropped several counts in the countersuit. So why did she advise me to file in the first place? At the last hearing, she was stuttering and tripping over her words, and it was embarrassing. An attorney is supposed to exude confidence in their client, but it's like she's not fighting to win the case. She's just going through the motions and showing up to court. After paying her thousands of dollars over the past 3 years, this case has been dragging on. Guys, this isn't funny, but I'm just really cracking up as to you leave a scathing review about this attorney and then you hire them for an even bigger case. Does this make sense to you?
You know what? This is too much.
I will not be using this attorney again. Oh my gosh. So that's the review that Tasha left for Miss Olga Child. Guys, I really am I'm floored. I really have no words about this whole thing. I mean, this case just seems to be getting worse and worse as the days progress. So let me just finish reading you guys the transcript, okay? I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So Judge Ray allowed the video as part of the defense case only to show what Tasha K might have relied upon when she made allegations that Cardi B used cocaine and MDMA, the drug also known as Molly. I think it shows the character of the defendant generally. I'll say whatever I want to say if it makes me money, Judge Ray said. He barred Tasha K from showing a video alleging Cardi B was involved in a bar fight, saying it was more prejudicial to the rapper than it was relevant and necessary to the defense case. When I tell you that Tasha K is trying to throw everything into the pot, I mean, she is really laying it on thick. She is doing her best to sway the judge. And the judge seems to be like, absolutely not. We are not using this in this case. Try again. Tasha K argued the video in which she defends Cardi B against assault allegations is proof that not everything she says about the rapper is negative. Asked by Judge Ray whether there are any other videos in which Tasha K discusses Cardi B in a positive light, the blogger's lawyers pointed out 2 others. Cardi B claims that Tasha K has defamed her in almost 40 video posts and various additional social media posts since September of 2018, causing the rapper to become depressed and suicidal. The defendant can testify that she said positive things about the plaintiff, Judge Ray said. Based on the evidence that I've seen so far, it would be a stretch to argue that the defendant generally likes the plaintiff. If so, then you need to question who your friends are. In one of the blog videos barred by Judge Ray, Tasha K said Cardi B tore down her own effing self and defamed herself by commenting online that a black woman's dead child was a monkey. Tasha K also said in a video played Wednesday that Cardi B harasses her fans and tells young fans to risk and die. Cardi is someone who doesn't effing deserve fame, Tasha said. Judge Ray cracked a smile when he asked Tasha K's lawyer, Olga Ismailova, if she thought that video was good for Tasha K, and the lawyer replied yes. Your client believes the plaintiff is bad because she engages with fans in a negative way? That's your defense for defamation? Judge Ray asked Olga Ismailova. This video actually supports malice. Judge Ray said Tasha K is not the authority on whether Cardi B is racist. And even if the rapper was racist, that wouldn't be a defense for Tasha K to defame her. The challenged evidence supports Cardi B's allegations of malice, he said. The judge said both Cardi B and Tasha K were very different women in the courtroom than they were in their social media posts and online videos. He said he was generally familiar with Cardi B's music, which he described as certainly edgy stuff, and that a song she did with Bruno Mars was his favorite because he liked the singer. At one point during the hearing, Judge Ray scolded Tasha K's other attorney, Sadir Sabak, for talking over Olga Ismailova. Judge Ray said he was really getting tired of Sabak ignoring the rules. If you do it again, sir, I'm going to hold you in contempt, Judge Ray said to Tasha K's other lawyer, Sadir Sabak. You act like you've never tried a case before. Well, damn. Oh my gosh. You cannot make this up. Honestly, is it too late for Tasha to fire these attorneys and get some new ones? If I were her, I would be spending top dollar on the best legal representation, I tell you, okay? I mean top dollar. I want the premier. Give me the Rolls Royce of attorneys. That's what I want. So those were the day 5 and day 6 transcripts. I plan on giving you guys the day 7 transcripts as well. But y'all, this case seems to be like a circus right now. Again, I think that this needs to be a cautionary tale for everybody, whether you have a YouTube channel, a podcast. You need to be careful about what you say. And it is dangerous to become fixated on a celebrity, on anybody, where you go to these great lengths to try to tear them down. Again, you have every right to dislike a public figure, that's fine, but you do not have the right to try to damage their reputation and make up out-and-out lies about them. I think that Cardi is determined to make an example out of Tasha K, and I also think that going forward, other celebrities might follow suit. You just have to be responsible about what you say. Report on the facts, report on what you see, give your opinion, don't go crazy, don't make up lies, and don't become fixated on somebody where you're just out to get them. But again, I'm reading the transcripts from Law 360, giving my opinion, and keeping it at that. I'm not adding any extra sauce to anything. But as always, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.